What's up, peeps? Welcome back to the AEW Insider. As always, I'm your host, Lee Bentz, and thank you so much for joining us again this week. Told you I was going to pump these YouTube videos out at least once a week for wrestling. So guys, if you are fans, we got the AEW podcast that will be out once a week. That's going to cover pretty much like, what happened on Raw, AEW when it starts on Wednesday nights, SmackDown, what have you, and plus wrestling news thrown in. Then for the weekend, we'll cover stuff like Impact Wrestling that happened on Friday night, independent events, pay-per-views, what have you, plus wrestling news. I want to separate the two a little bit because if they're both the same content on each, and you're just going to listen or watch one and not the other, and that does no good for us here at the AEW Insider. Also, there will be a second video once a week. I'll do my best to do the second video once a week. If not, it might be a week and a half, a week every, 2 days, what have you. But it will be about movies, music, pop culture, video games, what have you. We're huge movie fans of video games, horror fans in this house, fans in this house. So we're definitely going to sit there and bring that to you. So there's going to be another video too. So definitely watch out for that. Thank you so much for supporting us. Remember, it's the AEW Insider 1 on Twitter and the AEW Insider on all other social media. Don't mind me if I sweat a little bit. We got a beautiful home. We got an air conditioner in each room that we actually occupy, but I don't use this room too much, and I'm going to have to get something. So don't mind me if it gets a little hot. I apologize. All right, let's get to your wrestling news. Sad news. WWE legend King Harley Race has passed away at 76 years old. King Harley Race and Greg Hammer, the Hammer Valentine, were huge influences in my life growing up. Like I said before, we're straight out of Jersey. Jersey, especially WWE, they just go together like hand in hand. Jersey, New York, what have you. So these two, obviously I'm saying these two because I said Greg, but King Harley Race was a huge influence in my life for wrestling, the love of wrestling anyway. And not only that, if it wasn't for him, I believe he was the first king in the ring. And if it wasn't for him, or the first king besides Lawler, but he was the one who meant something. And I don't think there'd be a king in the ring or anything like that if it wasn't for Harley Race. But even before his WWE, that was kind of like the end of his career. You definitely got to check out his NWA stuff. So Godspeed, King. You were one of the best. This week also marked the 4-year anniversary of Hot Rod Rowdy Piper's death. If I were to talk about Hot Rod, I'd be here all night, to be honest. He's one of the best heels, if not the best heel in the business. He was always putting people over during matches, on promos and in his show. Even if he wasn't in a match and he would have them on Piper's Pit or whatever, he was always in a mix. He was the man. And like Busted Open Radio said this week, WrestleMania 3 was amazing. Like I said, I used to watch that and other ones and horror movies at my dad's on VHS. WrestleMania 3 is amazing, but his match with Adrian Adonis, which is amazing, always got overlooked because of Hogan and Giant and Macho Man and Snooker or Steamboat. I forget. He had great rivalries with both of them, but one of them. But definitely check out Roddy Piper and Adrian Adonis because it's awesome. What's that? I take a drink. I'm about to choke. All that chronic, that medical marijuana, Left the brother a little parched. All right, now let's get on to some AEW news. MJF is obviously still pissed at Shawn Spears for hitting his BFF Cody with a chair. I think my dog MJF might have went a little bit too far this time, though. He tweeted out a tweet insinuating that he slept with Spears' real-life wife, one half of WWE's Women Tag Team Champions, Peyton Royce of the Iconics. He said in the morning she looks like a 2 or 3 out of 10 with no makeup on, and how he gave her the maximum ride the night before. It's just insane. There will be hell to pay for that, MJF, and I hope you really did clear up behind the scenes with Shawn Spears first, or he might just whoop your ass next time he sees you, bro. This week's Being the Elite, the Young Bucks' own son and daughter turned on them, which I covered on the podcast. They were outside, and the Young Bucks kids came up to them, their son and daughter, and they did the Lucha Brothers, Cero Miro, which means no fear. And the Young Bucks, their reactions were priceless, so check it out. Also behind, let me see, I apologize. Yeah, we did this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, definitely, if you want to know about Being the Elite, check out the podcast. I apologize. Christopher Daniels on the show, though, real quick, he did answer a letter. If you didn't know, Christopher Daniels is literally on the Waterworld show at Universal Studios. If you go to Universal Studios, I believe it's in Florida, they still have the Waterworld show going on, based on that Dennis Hopper and Kevin Costner movie. Christopher Daniels actually plays the Dennis Hopper part, the bald, eye-wearing patch pirate. And he still does it. He can't do it as much as he used to, of course, because of AEW, what have you, but he says he's always there on Wednesdays, yada, yada. So if you're at Disneyland, definitely check out, or Universal, whatever it is, definitely, I think it's, I can't even remember what I said, but definitely it's at Universal. But definitely check out Christopher Daniels in person in Waterworld at Universal before, AEW on TV starts, and then it's too late. A great promo was released for the three-way match at All Out. It had Joey Janela, Darby Allin, and Jimmy Havoc. It was a legit street fight. They were in like a street, in a pit of a concert, but the concert was empty. It was an empty arena, empty stage, empty pit. They were beating the piss out of each other. Security split them up, and then the camera panned, and it was actually Mark Hoppus and the rest of Blink-182. And Mark Hoppus said, "Again, Janela? What the fuck?" And he shook his head and walked away. Now, of course, he was referring to the incident that happened a couple weeks ago when Joey Janela and Enzo got into a fist fight at a Blink-182 concert. So it was really, really cool. They actually worked that all in, and that Blink-182 is willing to do that. AEW is the bomb, yo. It's now official. Marco Stunt was given a contract for AEW. He's part of it. So a lot of guys, you see them online, it'll say this person's Elite, this person's AEW. Kind of find out they were just getting paid to make an appearance. A lot of them weren't even signed. Like Private Party, they were announced they were AEW, but they didn't get signed until they walked backstage at the last pay-per-view. Marco Stunt was on the last pay-per-view, and I think another one, their first one in the Battle Royal, he just got signed. So congratulations, because Marco Stunt's awesome, and I talked about him on a podcast with Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. Cody Rhodes did a short interview with Busted Open Radio about the first ever live taping of AEW in October, of course. They're trying to sell it out when tickets go on sale on Friday. Also, he revealed his opponent for AEW's first TV show, and it's none other than Sammy Guevara. He knows he's a talent, we know he's a talent, and he wants to show the world what they can do. It was also announced that it will be the Golden Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus Chris Jericho and his partners of his choice. So it could be somebody on a roster, but I really think it's a tag team, or two guys, but probably a tag team that AEW has already signed, but it's real hush up, and they're going to hush, and it's going to be revealed at the pay-per-view. So that's very exciting to me. All right, now we're going to say, if you listen to the podcast, no need to be bored anymore. You're not going to hear it again, little parts here and there, but here's new news. Let me see. All right, he also cut a promo on his AEW YouTube channel. It was for their debut, but at the core of it, it was directed right at Vince McMahon. I reported last week when WWE had their phone call about their financial standings of the second quarter. Vince referred to AEW as blood and guts. Cody didn't take kind to that, and he said the business was built off of blood and guts. Cody was busy this week. He appeared on the Chad Dukes vs. the World show. He let us in on how he reacts with and deals with other wrestlers from other promotions who are still under contract, but text him about job and other things, AEW or not. Cody stated that, sure, and that really is a great question, and I can't talk about it. You've got to basically differentiate. I can't even talk to listen like an asshole. I know the word though, but what you call it? He said it's a really great question. You got to fucking separate it. The tricky thing is that we're friends. We are all brothers in arms, sisters in arms of the industry. We're the ones who go out there and take the bumps. Nobody sitting in a corporate office is taking those same bumps, or on the road or off the road or between the roads. So there's a camaraderie there, and there's a level of what we're allowed to talk about and what we want to talk about as friends. But when it gets beyond friendly and it gets directly beyond personal, that's an area where I had to grow up. And Matt, Nick, and Kenny have had to grow up. And that's an area where we had to say, okay, well, we can't talk to you because you're under contract, or we can talk to you, but it will be at this date. And that's not always easy for some of our friends. It's not the easiest pill to swallow. When everybody just wants to kind of, go their separate and so when everybody just wants to kind of, you've got to separate and differentiate when you're talking as friends and when you're talking in a business. All right, so this week's Road to All Out, and I covered this on a podcast, kicked ass. It had MGF. MGF is gold. He's going over how tight he and Cody were. My favorite part was that he said his button was too tight on his jacket. He unbuttoned it, and there on his tie was Cody's dog's Pharaoh. It was hilarious. Then they did show, I have to cover this again, even though it was on a podcast for people who didn't listen to it, because this is important. They showed Cody Rhodes training for his upcoming match with Shawn Spears. They were cutting in Shawn Spears and Tully Blanchard driving to the contract signing. Cody Rhodes was really late, and that's kind of disrespectful for the signing. While he was being late, Tully Blanchard said, I want a stipulation added to that contract, that only one person can be in Cody's corner. I'm going to be in Shawn Spears' corner. I don't care if Cody brings Brandy, his wife, down, his brother Dustin, or their dog Pharaoh. Only one of them is allowed to stay. So that was put in the contract. Cody finally showed up to the meeting. He didn't look at anybody. He just went to sign a contract. She said, wait, the stipulation's been added. He said, I don't care. He went, it doesn't matter. He signed a contract and he just walked out. Shawn Spears was in shock. He was ready for a fight or a confrontation, what have you. Tully said, don't worry about it. We got exactly what we want. We'll see him at All Out. So it was very good. All right, so sorry saying I wasn't going to podcast. I get confused, blah, 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 but you know what I mean. All right, Impact Wrestling. This happened last night on their show. And I'm sorry to say, but I didn't like Impact that much last night. And I never say that. They can't all be winners, right? Tessa Blanchard did have an awesome fight, though. She fought Madman Fulton from OVE. That was really good. In the end, Madman hit Tessa with a big boot. Sammy called him to the ropes and threw her chair in a ring, and he smacked Madman in the face and told him to kill her. Out of nowhere, Tommy Dreamer came out with a kendo stick. He took out Sammy. He took out Sammy. He went to hit Madman Fulton, but Fulton got him first. Fulton was about to hit him with a chokeslam or his finisher, and literally the kendo stick pretty much fell right in front of Tessa, right in her hand pretty much. She grabbed it, she beat the crap out of Madman Fulton. Her and Tommy Dreamer both took the stick and clotheslined him out of the ring. He wanted to go back in like a maniac, but Sammy grabbed him by his dreads and just said, forget it, come on, another time, and he pulled him back, which was crazy. It was dope. They also had a 4 or 5 man match for the #1 contenders match for the X Division title. Now the X Division is like a cruiserweight division. It's most exciting, blah, 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 what have you. It wasn't that great. The winner of it, though, when he gets a shot at the X Division title, and that's going to be against Jake Crist, is Aiden Prince. Ace Austin took on Impact's Indiana Jones. I don't know the guy's name yet. I forget it. He's really cool, though. But he's literally supposed to be an action hero with a gut, might I add. I don't have any room to talk. But he's dressed just like Indiana Jones. So Ace Austin did take him on. And out of nowhere, he was attacked by Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards versus Ace Austin will be kick-ass. We've seen Ace, my daughter and I, at Impact this last Mania weekend. We were at United We Stand, and that kid's going to be a huge star, I'm telling you. And then the tag team in the North retained their titles against the Rascals. Let me take a drink because I'm almost spitting. I'm not spitting, but stuttering and shit. Which is just me, but blah, blah, blah. All right, it was revealed that Impact star Rhino made a pitch to Vince McMahon before leaving the WWE. He stated that the discussions took place for him to appear at Slammiversary 17 under a mask, and he hinted that it might have been an agreement. Like WWE was actually in talks with Impact, and they were going to let Rhino appear on the show, which is awesome. Rhino, and then they asked Rhino about the money because they were going to pay him a boatload of money to stay, but that didn't matter to him. He explained that he just wanted to be on the road, working with the young guys and helping discover new talent. He wasn't being used by WWE, and despite the money they were offering, he just couldn't be happy sitting at home and not contributing. I can't even friggin' talk tonight. I'm more beneficial on being on the road, he told them. So I understand that, man. Once these guys have enough money and all that, WWE thinks they could just buy them like they tried buying Jon Moxley. It doesn't work, man. They want to be happy. Look at Sasha Banks. When's the last time you've seen her? She's under contract, but they can't come to an agreement. She's sick of getting scrubs. They lied to her about the tag teams women titles, losing them and all that. So, I mean, that's just what they do. Even though Impact wasn't that great last night, it's awesome. You definitely got to check it out Friday nights on Twitch. And Impact did sign a huge wrestling female star. It is none other than ex-WWE star TENILLE Dashwood, a.k.a. Emma. It's awesome, but it sucks because Ring of Honor really didn't use her. She got injured, she came back. Emma's a talent, well, TENILLE DASHWOOD. She just was in. She was the only female member of the Youngblood faction they put together that Juice Robinson leads, which is awesome. But I guess she wasn't happy there. And from what we've been told in the past by Jericho, the Young Bucks, what have you, Impact's got some money. People don't think they do, but they do, and they put up good contracts. So I guess she just took what they had. So I wish her the best, man. And her and Tessa Blanchard, TENILLE DASHWOOD and Tessa Blanchard are going to tear the house down. That's going to be a dream match. All right, some UFC news real quick. In a big UFC story, it has been revealed that Dana White is releasing Chris Cyborg from a UFC contract. It has been well documented that these two have been at each other's throats for the last few months, and I know she and other UFC women have been eyeing WWE, just like Ronda Rousey and her posse did. They were all on Twitter interacting, saying stuff, yada yada. So we'll see where Cyborg does end up in WWE or another promotion, but best of luck to you. The next day, that was announced yesterday, the next day she took it to, it was Instagram actually, and she had this to say. I want to let everyone know that the video was edited, because there's a video of her, Dana White, after like UFC, whatever, getting into it backstage. So she says, I want to let everyone know that the video was edited by my production team to make it appear as though Dana told me. And listen, whenever you hear me saying stuff, I'm not saying the truth. Dana did not say that to me, and the subtitles in the video were incorrect. As you can see from the unedited video, Dana actually said, and listen, whenever you hear from me saying stuff, I'm not saying negative things about you. See, so that's crazy. So that's maybe one of the huge reasons why she's fired him. And the video was released, and now she comes out on Instagram and admits it. If she would have did that a minute before it was released, that'd be a different story. Now she's trying to do damage control, and it doesn't put you in a good light if you ask me. She said, Dana and I have had my disagreements during my UFC career, and I have been adamant about standing up for myself in situations where I feel my character and statements have been misrepresented and used against me. But I also take pride in being an honest person and a true professional. I take full responsibility for the actions that resulted in the edited video being posted on my social media accounts. We were wrong, and I have addressed this issue with my production team so that it doesn't ever happen again in the future. Finally, I want to apologize to Dana White for posting the video. Even though we will continue to disagree about numerous issues, I will always stand up for what's right. Now let's get into some WWE news. There's always a lot of WWE news, but how could there not be? Because they're a juggernaut. All right. Former ex-husband of WWE diva Celeste Bonin, a.k.a. Caitlyn. You remember Caitlyn, the old diva. Caitlyn's one of my favorites. She is super hot. She was just on Raw at the reunion last week. Her ex-husband has made crazy claims, and crazy because what he said could be true. He is stating that Seth Rollins was sending Caitlyn nude photos of himself while her and her now ex-husband were still married, which is fucked up. Now, Seth has gone out with some crazy women and worried, like, it's nuts. I mean, he's questionable too, so I kind of believe it, but I don't know. You never know. I'm just saying my opinion. Well, he used to go out with some hot chicks, some black-haired chick, but she was a Nazi lover. She loved the Nazis. She dressed like them. She had the memorabilia, taking pictures. They got released. He had to break up with her. So it's nuts. And he's also been known to send nude pics before and be involved in those scandals. Her ex-husband, PJ Brown, stated on the Delay Misfits podcast he stated that they were together and all that, and I totally apologize. I don't want to say misquote the guy, actually. I didn't put it in, so I'm done. But definitely check out, Caitlyn's ex-husband's claims, and he was on the Del Rey Misfits podcast, so check that out. Hey man, I'm off the whim here, so I'm honest, but he is saying that Seth sent the pictures while they were married, and me, I believe it, because he's been known with the new pictures before. He's a freak. All right, real quick, I'm going to bring up the action flicks Hobbs and Shaw, because The Rock's in it, and this covers Roman Reigns, who are in the WWE and are in the WWE. Definitely, I'm going to do the review on that new movie video I told you about, too. So I'm going to give you the review about Hobbs and Shaw. There won't be spoilers. Like, I'm not going to tell you any major plot points, the ending, you know what I mean, what happened. I'll tell you, the setup of it that you can see in trailers. And plus, there were some crazy cameos. That's one thing, but let me don't get on that. I will say cameos, but I won't say what happened. happen. So definitely tune into our next YouTube video with the Hobbs and Shaw review, plus other trailer reactions, all kinds of stuff. Let me see. All right, so The Rock told the world that his cousin Roman Reigns nearly killed the cameraman by hitting him with a club that was only supposed to be a pretend throw. It was crazy. Fortunately, the cameraman wasn't hurt, and a barrage of apologies from the big dog managed to smooth things over, almost though he got fired by The Rock. That's what The Rock said. Now, Reigns was recently on ESPN 60-60 or 64-60, 30-30, whatever. He admitted to doing it. He stated, being the new guy, I thought I was going to have a regular fight scene. But they told me, actually, you're going to have a fight scene with Dwayne. We built it up, and we finally got to the day of shooting. We were moving in perfect chemistry. At the end of the fight scene, you have this cool superhero pose. We get eye to eye. We throw clubs. Right back, I know I'm the man. Oh, God, I'm not the man. I hit the cameraman directly in the face, and he takes a huge spill. I sprint over to him, apologizing like crazy. Everybody is screaming. I pick up the cameraman, and no one is looking at me anymore. They're looking at Dwayne, only in Dwayne fashion. Roman, I don't even know why I brought you on this project. I think I gotta fire you now. Lucky the cameraman was a trooper and accepted my apology. That's pretty crazy, man. I mean, it was like seriously a mistake, and The Rock just says that to you? I think that's fucked up. That was my cousin. I'd be pissed off if he talked to me like that. Looks like The Rock's a little full of himself. Surprised? Let me see. All right, and that's an insane story. Hobbs and Shaw could have definitely been hit and miss. But like I said, I'm going to cover it on my next video, so definitely stay tuned. Speaking of The Rocks, he did announce his retirement a few days ago. He was on the Live with Kelly and Ryan show. They asked if he missed the wrestling business and if he wishes he could balance it out with acting. And The Rock replied that, I do miss wrestling and I love wrestling, The Rock said. I quietly retired from wrestling because I was lucky enough to have a really wonderful career and accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. But there's nothing like a live crowd, live audience, and a live microphone, as you both know. You know Vince is going to do what he can to get Rock back for the debut of SmackDown on Fox, because that's the Rock show. SmackDown was named after him, and also for any big events. Mark my words. Real quick, some of the sources that we get our news from online and in print, are such as Wrestling Observer, PW Insider, Fightful.com, Wrestle Talk, Cultaholic, Sean's View, Ringside News, Pro Wrestling Sheet, WWFOldSchool.com, Bodyslam.net, Bleacher Report, Sportster.com, and Sam Roberts, just to name a few. All right, Hulk Hogan was interviewed by ESPN after the Raw reunion. They asked him who he thought was going to be the next breakout star in WWE. Hogan said he mentioned Drew McIntyre, AJ Styles, and Ricochet, claiming the latter is making an impression on everyone, Ricochet. Hogan said that he is betting on Kevin Owens. He's my boy. Hogan also praised Charlotte Flair for setting the bar so high, and that she's blown the roof off the place. I think he's got his post. There's a couple other people too, but he wasn't wrong in anything he said. He's definitely got his finger on the pulse. It's good. He also revealed that Vince McMahon turned down a Hogan heel turn. That upsets me, because we could have more Hogan on TV, even though he's a racist prick behind the scenes. But could have been great if done right. You know what happened with Hollywood Hogan and WCW. I would say that I bet the WWE regrets taking that $1 billion from the Saudi Arabia deal, but Vince wanted that XFL fuck you money. Never mind females not being able to wrestle over there, and that the government killed our American reporter not too long ago. The Saudis are still asking for older, well, actually dead superstars to appear at their next show. From an insider who works in the WWE, it was revealed that their latest list of wrestlers that they wanted at their next Saudi Arabia show towards the end of the year, the list did include Eddie Guerrero, the Big Boss Man, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Miss Elizabeth. Like, that is unbelievable that they love wrestling so much, and they literally paid $1 billion that be involved with the WWE, have them come to their country twice a year for 10 years, if not more. And and that they love it. But why would you pay that much money, go through all that, see the show, you actually watch the product, know the product and watch it if you know who these guys are, but you don't know that these superstars are dead, and they've been dead, God bless their souls. I just found it super weird and eerie. But good luck with all that blood money, WWE. Trolls have been dissing Renee Young for a job on commentary. I think it's effed up. We know she's great for the TV show Talking Smack and other shows. I mean, who's better than Renee Young, for real? Taz even took to Twitter to defend her, and he gave her props. Renee Young responded by admitting she knows she's not the best, but she tries very hard and she gets better every day. She said, well, it's her job. What's she going to do? Quit? To me, man, people always think the grass is green on the other side, and trust me, we could get 10 times worse. What do you want to do? Have the coach back? I mean, please. And plus, it's good to have a female on the panel to give her her perspective, especially with the women's evolution going on and all that. You need a chick on the panel. It was announced that indie star and pro wrestler Chris Sabian is going to be coaching at the WWE Performance Center this week. Like I said in a podcast, it's got to be amazing to be trained by true legends of the game. I mean, we heard horror stories about the coaches from NXT, like, humorous, build them up, what have you, but there's a lot more good stories than bad. And I always post a video of the week. This week I'm going to post one that I seen on Impact last night, and it was amazing. It was actually Chris Sabian with his tag team, Alex, I can't even believe his name slipping my mind, but they were the Motor City Machine Guns, and they went against Generation Me in Impact Wrestling. And if you don't know who Generation Me is, that was the Young Bucks when they were in Generation Wrestling. So it's the Motor City Machine Guns versus the Young Bucks, and the match is fucking epic. So look out for on the AEW Insider on our social media and check that out, or check it out on YouTube, but I'd rather you check it out on our channels, you know. Maria Kanellis, Maria Kanellis is the new 24/7 champion. I told you how she did it on a podcast. It did happen on Raw, so I won't rehash it. You probably already know by now. People are not happy online. They are saying that WWE forced Maria to be 24/7 champion. Maria decided to reply online, and she said, "No one forces me to do anything except my two tiny humans," meaning her baby. "Both forced me to stop staying up late, stop eating deli meat, and stop being selfish, stop taking long showers, what have you." So it's bullcrap. Please, they're happy to be used, man. They were unhappy, gonna leave, and all their stuff they said went online a couple months ago. I thought the Kanellises were done. AEW hits the scene as a serious threat, and boom, 5 years and back on TV. Mike Kanellis is awesome. I watched him on the Indies, and their chemistry together is dope, so it's cool. And we got to see who the hell is going to beat a pregnant woman for a title. It's going to be dope. WWE Hall of Famer Edge revealed on his podcast why he never had a kick-ass live band WrestleMania entrance. The Hall of Famer stated that, "We talked about it, but the way it worked out, it's just that I was always a heel, and I really believe that a heel shouldn't have a badass band playing them to the ring because you're going to cheer for that because it's cool." I don't know. I see Triple H going out there and high-fiving Lemmy and Motorhead, and I go, what's there to hate? If you're a heel to me, you do everything within your power to be a heel. And having a kick-ass metal band or a kick-ass rock band out there or an entrance, they're singing you to the ring, that's just tough to hate, and it's just not my mentality on. I mean, that's just my mentality on that. I agree with him 100%. If you're a heel, you're going to be a heel. I forget what wrestler it was. Oh, I can't believe it's slipping my mind. You know it, though. But it was a wrestler. It was not too long ago, back in the day. He was the heel. He refused to have merchandise. He told Vince McMahon, maybe it was Jericho, "Stop selling my merchandise. Why are these people going to buy T-shirts on me when they're supposed to hate me?" That's a heel. All right, it was revealed that Scott Hall was not allowed to be in the ring on a Raw reunion when Stone Cold Steve Austin and the whole roster did their toast to beer. It's crazy. He had to actually sit at the timekeeper's table. Hall is actually prescribed that anti-abuse. It's an anti-alcoholic drug back in the day. If he still uses that drug, then even the smell of beer could make him sick. And that could be a possible reason why he wasn't allowed to enter the ring, but I just think it was to avoid a relapse, you know what I mean? I can't even think today, don't mind me, be tempted. It was also revealed that The Undertaker just signed a long-term deal with WWE. And I mean so long-term, it's like a legit, pretty much a lifetime contract, no bull. You go, dead man. And I ain't hating it, I ain't hating, you earned it, bro. I guess this is what they're really going to do with huge legends anymore, to stop another Chris Jericho from going to AEW. So we already know they're trying to re-sign talent, younger talent, 2 years before their contract's up because they don't want them going anywhere. And now I think with this, with The Undertaker, it's going to open the floodgates. Not saying the wrestlers are going to sign, but they're going to try locking down legends in a lifetime contract, such as Stone Cold, The Rock, Brock Lesnar, what have you. So all these big names that are still alive and all that, they don't want them going anywhere. So they're going to put him in these contracts. And everybody knows Undertaker was supposed to appear at the last StarCast and everything. Like, he goes around and does personal appearances. So WWE's not scared, though, as they keep saying. As I reported on the podcast, people online screenshotted the attacker of Roman Reigns this week. It was Buddy Murphy in the screenshot. Come to find out, though, that the word on the streets is that the person who did it and his opponent for SummerSlam is going to be Daniel Bryan. And that makes perfect sense, not story-wise, but always they have to advertise for upcoming events. So they're already booked in different states and cities after SummerSlam to do live shows, of course. And they always release a card of people who are going to be on it, because it always says cards are subject to change. After SummerSlam for live events, Daniel Bryan is in a feud with Roman Reigns. So you know it's going to be revealed next week, and Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns are going to be fighting at SummerSlam, and Daniel Bryan is his attacker. Mark my words, people. You know how Dolph Ziggler keeps bringing up Goldberg's name? So even though they have him fighting Miz at SummerSlam, Dave Meltzer report it's bullcrap. It's a red herring. He now says that Dolph was supposed to fight Goldberg. It's not confirmed because Vince is still mad as fuck at Goldberg. But from a tweet from Matt Riddle, it seems like it is still on. Matt Riddle sent out a tweet and it literally had Dolph and Goldberg with the SummerSlam logo. It looked legit, just like all the other ones. And it said WWE, make it a triple threat. Because you know Matt Riddle's an ex-UFC wrestler and he's been knocking Goldberg too. Well, why would he even say that if the match isn't going to take place? So who knows? It's still up in the air, but it's the show's less than a week and a half away, week away. Yeah, tomorrow, a week and a day away, and they don't have, it's just crazy what they're doing. I don't get it. It sucks SummerSlam is not in Brooklyn. My daughter is very sad. Her and I have been at every one the last 4 years, and 2 of the takeovers in Barclays Center in Brooklyn. It was a good time while it lasted, and we even got to go this April again for WrestleMania week. I know it's got to go around and spread the love. Before it came to Brooklyn for so many years, it was at the Staples Centers in LA. Canada deserves some love too, but we're definitely going to miss it because we wish you could be there, for real. The match of the week that I did post was John Cena versus Kurt Angle. It was John Cena's WWE debut, and that's when Kurt Angle was telling somebody he wants to have ruthless aggression. This guy came out with like a military haircut, like orange kind of tights, and John Cena told him ruthless aggression and put on a dope debut match. So definitely check that match out. It's John Cena versus Kurt Angle, John Cena's first appearance, ruthless aggression, what have you. Last few weeks, there has been a bunch of new subscribers. I definitely thank you on the podcast and YouTube, but thank you especially to my man Chris. He's a true effing peep. If you guys don't know, you guys are my peeps. That's what I call my fans. That's what I call the supporters. You know what I mean? I'm not even saying my fans, the followers, the people who support us and listen to who I do it for. So you guys are the peeps. I thank you very much, and thank you especially, Chris. You're the man. We won't let you guys down. Next Sunday is SummerSlam, and next Saturday is NXT TakeOver Canada. SummerSlam is, I can't even talk today with the S's you're hearing. SummerSlam is scheduled to be a whopping 6 hours in runtime. And even though NXT will be 2 hours, in my opinion, a 97% chance will be that NXT will outshine SummerSlam like it always does. I mean, I think last one, SummerSlam was actually better than NXT. NXT was better every time. I mean, you've had like Bayley versus Sasha Banks in those. You've had Adam Cole's debut. It's just crazy, crazy matches. NXT always puts on an awesome show. But you know, next week I will be doing the podcast. I'll be doing my prediction show. Plus, I'll be doing a result show. And that's probably what I'll wait for. I'll do those and I'll throw them in with all the wrestling news of the week. Definitely remember, I got to edit this. So if I get it done tonight, all the editing, it'll be out tonight. If not, it'll be out tomorrow afternoon. And then I'm going to finish tonight writing out the movie YouTube video. Then I'm going to shoot that and I'm going to edit that too. So definitely, man, like, subscribe, share, let people know about the AEW Insider. I get better as I go along. I'm trying, man. So we'll see. Definitely. I'm not going to give up though. So remember, there'll be a podcast out once a week. It's the AEW Insider. You can get that on Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, Breaker Radio, Anchor podcasting, and on all major podcast sites. It's there, the AEW Insider. Make sure you hit us up on Twitter, show us some love, or if you have any questions, that's the AEW Insider 1 on Twitter. And then you can join our groups. We got the WFW fan group and the AEW Insider group on Facebook. So definitely follow us and like, share, subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, what have you. Definitely check out the 570 Sports Show if you like all kinds of sports. Those guys do a good job. And check out Jabber Jabber Wrestling Universe for everything all WWE. I'll be back tomorrow or the next day as soon as I edit this video for the movie one. This will be up tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. But I'll be back. Remember, once a week, once a week, once a week. I thank you guys so much. This one was a little bit of a shit show. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me tonight, but I'll be back, all right? I'm your host, Lee Benz. This is the AEW Insider, and thank you so much for joining us. I gotta stop doing that because that's Corey Graves. I like Corey Graves, but I don't want to steal his gimmick. But we'll see you guys next week. It's the AEW Insider. Ciao, peeps.